Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Hey Walton County, it's Patrice Broughton, your Public Information Officer, and I'm here with the November County Update. We had 2 meetings in the month of November, and I will start with our regular meeting. It was held on November 2nd, and we had several Planning Commission recommendations on the agenda. The first was a rezone of 4.79 acres from R1 to B1 for a Dollar General store. The Planning Commission recommended a denial of the rezone, and the Board of Commissioners followed the recommendation of the Planning Commission, and they denied the rezone. There was a withdrawal of a rezone from LU amendment from highway corridor to neighborhood residential, and it was 44.56 acres from A1 to R1 OSC. The Planning Commission and the Board of Commissioners accepted the withdrawal. There was an approval with conditions from the Board of Commission following the Planning Commission recommendations for a conditional use for a telecommunications tower from New Singular Wireless. They are doing business for AT&T, and it was approved with the conditions that there will be slats in the fence in lieu of a landscape buffer. There was an approval of a rezone from 1.401 acres from R1 to A1 to be combined with 5899 Center Hill Church Road, and it was approved by the Board of Commissioners. There was a rezone from 5.24 acres from A1 to A to allow dog breeding and kennels. And the property is located at 405 Willow Springs. And following the Planning Commission recommendations, the Board of Commissioners approved the rezone with the following conditions. All kennels need to be inside and enclosed in the barn, and it was a limit of 8 kennels. There was also an approval of a rezone of 1.70 acres from A1 to A2 to create a buildable lot. And there was also an approval of a rezone of 1.79 acres from R1 to B1 for a personal care home. There were several resolutions on this agenda. Some of them were fiscal year 22 budget amendments. There was amending a project-linked budget for pickleball courts. And there was a resolution to consent to provide notice to the Walton Industrial Building Authority to transfer certain fire stations currently held by the WIBA pursuant to an installment sale agreement dated as of July 1, 2005, and it was adopted. There was also a resolution consenting to the bond resolution of the WIBA in connection with the issuance of bonds for the jail project and approving the IGA between Walton County and the WIBA in connection with issuance of such bonds, and it was adopted. There was also a resolution consenting to the bond resolution of the Walton County Water and Sewer Authority in connection with the issuance of refunding bond series 2021 in connection with HLC Reservoir and approving IGA between Walton County and the Walton County Sewer Authority, and it was adopted. There was a resolution consenting to the bond resolution of the Walton County Sewer Authority in connection with the issuance of refunding bond series 2026 in connection with the Hard Labor Creek Reservoir and approving the IGA between Walton County and the Walton County Water and Sewer Authority in connection with the issuance of those bonds. And it was adopted. And there was a resolution to amend the service delivery strategy for Stanton Springs and Stanton Springs North, and it was adopted. There were proposed amendments to the civil service personnel rules and regulations, and it was approved. They approved a contract between Ascension Program Management for Walnut Grove Park, as well as the courtroom renovation. And there was an amended IGA for revenue sharing agreement for Stanton Springs and Stanton Springs North, and it was also approved. There was a called meeting held on November 16th, and there were several resolutions on that agenda. So there was a resolution approving the supplemental bond resolution of the Walton County Industrial Building Authority, approving the final terms of the Walton Industrial Building Authority revenue bonds for the Walton Jail Facility Project, Series 2021, and related matters. It was approved. There was a resolution to approve the supplemental bond resolution of the Walton County Water and Sewage Authority, approving the final terms of the Walton County Water and Sewage Authority taxable refunding revenue bond, and it was approved. And there was also the approval of the supplemental bond resolution of the Walton County Water and Sewage Authority, approving the final terms of the Walton County Water and Sewage Authority refunding revenue bond for the Hard Labor Creek Reservoir Project, Series 2026, and it was approved. The resolutions for the Walton County Water and Sewage Authority were to allow the Walton County and Sewage Authority to save $2 million. And under the guidance and recommendation of Chairman David Thompson, the Walton County Board of Commissioners and the Walton County Water and Sewage Authority successfully refinanced the Hard Labor Creek Reservoir bonds for the Walton County Water and Sewage Authority with expert assistance from the Walton County Industrial Board, Jim Woodward of the Bond Council, Walton County Finance Director Milton Cronheim, and Walton County Attorney Charles Ferguson. Thompson was able to take advantage of historically low interest rates and net a savings of $2,066,000 realized over 7 years. Walton County also had an upgrade in our already healthy bond ratings. Walton County has maintained a healthy rating for several years, and last week Moody's Investor Service and Standard & Poor's upgraded the county's bond ratings. Moody upgraded us from an AA2 to an AA1, and Standard & Poor's raised its rating from AA- to AA, and gave Walton County a positive outlook. These upgrades reflects the county's solid economic growth, and the growth comes in form of, among other factors, several large-scale industrial development projects and the removal of contingent liquidity risk from privately placed debt. Those are the things that happened in the month of November. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to call us here at 770-267-1301. To keep up with all other events and county news, please go to our website at waltoncountyga.gov and look on the home page under the Walton County News and Events section. Hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and we look forward to serving you all and also giving you an update on next month. Thank you.
Well, you need to come by and do your Christmas shopping at the Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. For November and through Christmas, we have the entire gallery as a gift shop with wonderful items made by local artists starting at $4 up. So there's something here for everybody. We are reasonably priced. And for the holiday season, we're open 7 days. We're open Sunday 1 to 5, Monday 11 to 4, Tuesday, Wednesday from 11 to to 5. Thursday we're open late till 8 for the downtown shopping, which is a must for everybody. And Friday and Saturday 10 to 5. And if you're looking for something unique that your friends or family will treasure, this is the place to go. Come on down. Now we're going to take a look around and you can see some of the fabulous things that are here, all made by local artists. And come on down and take a look and do your Christmas shopping.
For having me here. It's just exciting time right now for me and the Boys and Girls Club. It's exciting time for Walton County and Monroe as a whole. And just to introduce myself, Lynn Hill, born and raised right here in Walton and Monroe, and just glad to be back serving here in my community that I grew up in. A lot of people poured into me. I didn't have a Boys and Girls Club back when I was growing up. We had Little League Baseball, and I played with a lot of familiar people that you know in the community now, like Bruce Wright, Brian Thompson, the Browns, Adam Brown. Many of them I played baseball growing up with them, Chapman and so forth, John Howard, all of those guys. Just grew up with them. Roy Roberts, you just naming guys that I remember growing up vividly. And a lot of people poured into us, and I can just remember Mr. Thompson when he had the store over here on Broad Street. He had me there at the store there, and I played ball with his son Michael, and my dad raised hogs and collard greens, so I could just vividly remember my dad and Mr. Thompson working together. He had the meat, my dad had the collard greens and sausage, and I made a lot of money on the side, helping my dad and things like that in Monroe. So just a lot of great memories, and that is why it influenced me a lot to pour back into the community of Monroe and Walton County. And I've worked in Boys and Girls Club after going off to school and playing ball and coming back. Had an opportunity to come back to Monroe, the Walton County Boys and Girls Club, and just to give influence to the kids in our community. So I just want to take a moment to introduce exactly what we're doing there at Boys and Girls Club, and just an update of where we are right now, and I'll just give you some highlights on where we are as far as the administration of what we're doing at Boys and Girls Club, and by all means entertain any questions that you may have, because as I tell everybody, anywhere I go, that this is our Boys and Girls Club. It's not just mine or a corporate standpoint, but it's ours, in our community. So Boys and Girls Club of America, the headquarters is there in Atlanta, right off of Peachtree, and it's located there. And our Boys and Girls Club here in Walton County is known as a standalone Boys and Girls Club. We operate, on our own. We have our own bills, we have our own budget that we go by, and we're nonprofit, and so we receive monies in, donations and things like that in, and we have an operating budget that we go by for our kids that we have. Now, the mission of Boys and Girls Club is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to become productive and caring citizens. So we want them to grow up productive. So out of all the programs we have right now, we have 25 programs that we have after school for the kids once they get out of school. And those programs tie into 3 outcomes. By the time they come in, I want to see a kid come in at 5 years old, 6 years old, and that kid just goes through the program all the way up till he graduates, until she graduates and goes off to college or specialized training. And those 3 outcomes is to have academic success, just do well in the schooling, and to have healthy lifestyles, just to practice just healthy habits growing up, and character and leadership, just to become a good leader. And I often preach to them. As you mentioned, I'm a preacher, so I preach. They get a sermon almost every day, and so I preach to them about collective economics, in the community, how to be financial literate. We just did a financial workshop just yesterday under our GEAR program, a GEER program just yesterday, that they can start now learning about handling a checkbook and saving deposits and establishing a portfolio. They can do all those things, start working on it now. And so I often preach to them about how they should grow up productive citizens in our community. A lot of kids grow up and they go out of Walton, they go out of Monroe, and I like to see a lot of them stay right here local, because it can be done. They say it can't be done, but it can be done locally here in Monroe. And they just work together. I said, I want to see you with your law firm. I want to see you with your nutrition store. I want to see you with your grocery store. And I want you all working together, just building up the community, in that sense. And so, those are the 3 outcomes that we look for in our kids. So let me give you a statistic. Well, give you a figure to look at, something to think about, rather. When do you think kids get in trouble? We talk about at-risk kids, or those kids that need us most. When do you think they get in trouble the most? I mean, when they're up for a whooping. When do you think they're doing something that gets them in trouble? Is it like 12 o'clock at night when nobody sees them, or like early in the morning before they go to school, or what's your take on it?
5 o'clock.
You said 5,
3.
Yeah, between 3 and 5. Mom and dad are at work.
There you go. I mean, you've answered it. The studies show, the statistics show that kids get in trouble the most between the hours of 3 and 7 p.m. And so, Boys and Girls Club establishes an after-school program, and it's not school over again. It's after school. So the main thing is that when they come to Boys and Girls Club between the hours of 3 and 7, the doors are open. Well, we open up at 2:30. From 2:30 to 7, the doors are open for kids to come between the ages of 6 and 18. And I want to make sure that the place is safe, that it's clean, and that they're having fun. They have to have fun. Even if they're doing homework. Homework can be fun. Math can be fun. And so we want to show them that math is fun. You can have fun doing it. So fun doing your homework. So kids are excited coming there, getting off the bus, or being picked up and brought there to a club, and they can get homework help and having fun doing it. They can enjoy becoming leaders and having good character, essay writing, and oratorical speaking, and things like that. And I'll get to that in just a little bit. I may need your help on that, and I'll mention that in just a little bit. But they have fun learning their personalities and who they are and who they can become. We teach that and we instill that. That can be fun. Getting exercise. One of the things I require at the Boys and Girls Club is that they get at least 30 minutes of exercise every day they come to the club. They get off the bus, whether it's just dancing off the bus. They got a dance and they call it the whoa. They're whoa. So I meet them at the bus, whoa. And the bus driver's like, whoa. So yeah, they get a kick out of that. So they get off the bus just getting some type of exercise, 30 minutes every day. All right, so they're doing that after school, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything as far as the programming of what we actually do there. The homework help is there, arts and crafts are there, the computer lab is there. We also have the games room, it's there. The gym, of course, the soccer. We have a great lacrosse program. We have about 10 boys right now that are traveling all over the nation right now. They just got back from Delaware at a tournament there. 10 boys that never knew anything about lacrosse. What is that? What is this stick? And now they are sought after. I mean, all over the nation. They've been invited to tournaments all over the nation. And it is just incredible how that is working out. And just various sports that they're playing: soccer, lacrosse, basketball, flag football, just a myriad of things that kids can do. We have a wonderful teen center program there. We have specialized programs, as Russell was just mentioning, the Passport to Manhood, where we have boys between ages 10 through 14, and specifically learning, ethics of being a man, transporting from a boy to a man, and Russell did a great job for a number of years working with that. Looking forward to him to chiming in again on some things with that as well. But we have Smart Girls, we just concentrate on the girls portion, which is the counterpart to the Passport to Manhood boys. And so it's just a lot of programs. Like I said, there's 25 that we're executing right now in the Boys and Girls Club. So just give you an update now on where we are. COVID hit, we survived it, thank God. We had some support from, of course, we get support from United Way. We get support from Georgia Alliance, which is a subsidiary of Boys and Girls Club of America. The state of Georgia, the Georgia Alliance, they have contributed during the COVID. We've had some, the PPP protection, they gave us a generous amount. Thank God for that. That came through. United Way, I did mention United Way of Walton, Angela Yarman, Terry Braswell this year. I asked them a little bit more this year. I'll explain that in just a second. But they're right there getting ready for the allocations to come out for 2022 on that. Let's see. And it's had civic organizations, churches, you name it, that are supporting, and we've done well. We've been afloat. 2 years ago, back in 2019, I had 411 kids overall registered. It had to drop down. I had to drop down to 45 kids can only come in the building for almost 2 years there. And that was just dramatic. That was just really drastic for me, that kids couldn't come to the club. And
due to COVID, you mean?
Due to COVID. It was due to COVID, yeah. Our safety committee and the insurance that has the liability insuring the building wouldn't allow me but 45 kids.
Those are just the toughest kids.
Oh man, I'll tell you.
How'd y'all pick those out?
How do we
How'd
do
you
it?
decide the 45 that came out of all those?
It was a first come, first serve. That was what we posted. But what I actually did was look at the kids that I knew that needed to get there, need to be there. I had one kid, he got in trouble. Just as a result, he went and broke into a house right down the street in his neighborhood. I'm like, Didi, what are you thinking? And he went there and he did it, and he just didn't have nothing else to do, didn't have anywhere else to go, and just a couple of things like that, a couple of instances like that. It was just heartbreaking. But those kids that I knew, it was first come, first serve, and parents got in, but those that I really knew that need to be in there, I got them in there to make that 45. I went maybe 5 kids over that our insurance company didn't know about, and I talked to my board, like, if y'all work, yeah, just work with me, and they were like, come on man, let's just make that happen. So I kind of really got 50 kids in, and we made it happen. So now we're back open, and we're getting kids back in. So I'm working with the school systems now and the churches now, and just wherever kids are, to let them know, the parents, to let them know that we're back in. And we're back at 125 right now, and by April 22, I should be back, from just looking at my numbers and the rates of how kids are coming back. By April 22, I'm projected to be back about 300 kids, okay? And that will give us an average daily attendance. Now, I need parents to make sure that the kids get back in at least 2 to 3 days a week. And so what that means, if I can get a kid in, I have a parent that comes, I need the kids to get enrolled. I'm having a problem with this, that, and other. I said, I can help, but you gotta get this child here at least 2 to 3 days a week. You can see a change within a month's time if you give me 2 to 3 days a week. You gotta work with me on it. Yeah, and sometimes parents I need their help too. It's really important that they have a strong home base as well as youth development at Boys and Girls Club. So get them there 2 to 3 days a week. You'll see some difference. We can make an influence. And so that's where we are with our kids right now. We made it through. We're back to fundraising. We're back to receiving donations. We're back to doing those things that keeps the keeps the club running. So I want to share. I bought this. First Club is celebrating 20 years of service. 20 years of service. I'm so excited about that. November 29th, which will be week after next, will be 20 years. Celebrating 20 years. And so on next Tuesday week, I'm just gonna put on a costume or something and just run around, just eat ice cream and cake. Celebrating 20 years, I tell you that's incredible for a Boys and Girls Club to go that long. We had one in Social Circle, Rebecca Daly and Hal, they worked on that end to get a club down there, but it didn't run. That was about what 3-4. Run Servo on our board as well, did a great job and still supported. But that was about what 3 years or 4 years, I think. But they had to close. We had to close that, and so that's why we dissolved the club in Social Circle, dissolved it into the Walton County Boys and Girls Club. And so right now I am working on getting all over Walton County, the Monroe cluster, Social Circle cluster, Good Hope, as well as Loganville. We're tapping into Loganville, working with principals there to get kids transported down to Feckle Park Complex to where we can serve kids from Loganville as well. So 20 years. Now I was just looking at, I had some familiar names. 20 years ago, the founding board members, namely like George Baker, the late Brenda, his wife Brenda, David Dixon, City Councilman Kirkland Dixon on the County Commission. They had Frank Eagle, Edna Elder, my baseball coach growing up, Mr. Bob Hale, Jeremy Kilburn, which I worked with for years at the school board, school district. We had Coleman Landers, another one, Kevin Little, Kip Mercer, dedicated a room there. John and Joyce Stevens created the teen center for us there. Let's see, Mickey and Nina K. Langford. We had Gina Williams, the late Gina Williams, the late Harry Knight, Nancy Kinsey, the late Nancy Kinsey, and the late Tom Goddard, just to name a few that were on that founding board. Just put some monies together and built us a multi-million-dollar project and got that building going. And so now I have the task of 20 years later to see about helping it go another 20 years and another 20 years, and just leaving a legacy there. So we're going to have in January a Youth of the Year celebration, a competition, and also we're going to celebrate that 20 years there. I'm going to do a lot of celebrating on the 29th, but we're going to open up to the public, the community, in January. And of course, you all are invited to come. Now, where I'll need some help at, our Youth of the Year, her name is Miss Deshanti Stark. She's about this tall, and she is packed with power. I'm telling you, she can do it. And she's very outspoken. She has 3 minutes to make her speech as a Youth of the Year, our Youth of the Year this year for 2022. And she's polishing up her speech, her testimony, being a board member. I mean, a school club member at the Boys and Girls Club. She's a junior at Monroe Area High School, and she's going to be competing for the Youth of the Year for the organization of North Central Georgia. And where I need some help at, she's going to need some practice getting out and doing some speakings before she goes to the competition. And so I would love if you guys would facilitate and have her to come one meeting and just let her perform her speech and critique her, help her out. She's working right now with Mr. Mike Conrads in Madison, Rutledge. He's working with her right now every Tuesday. And Pete Kalk. You may be familiar with Pete Kalk. He starred in the movie Top Gun, and he is helping her and critiquing her right now as well. So they're doing a fantastic job with her. One of our Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year, Kevin Thompson, he was our 2015-2016 Youth of the Year. He excelled, went off to college. Matter of fact, he's working part-time with us now, helping me out now. He come back and helps me out. And he went to the state runner-up for Georgia Youth of the Year. And that is huge. That is big. But Boys and Girls Club is a standalone club. We had fundraisers throughout the year. I'm going to try to go ahead and close out. But we have fundraisers throughout the year. There's about 5 or 6 mainly that we're doing now. One is we just recently had the clay shoot. We did it the first year, this year. The clay shoot down in Mansfield. Did really well with that. George Baker Jr. Spearheaded that, worked out really well with that. Raised about maybe $26,000 on that. We didn't have our 5K race, which David Dixon still helps us out with that. We usually generate about $10,000 with that. We've had the Fight for the Future. If y'all remember the Fight for the Future, the Fight for the Future. We had Evander Holyfield, heavyweight boxing champion. He came on our first annual Fight for the Future, and we were working on this past year of getting Mike Tyson to come down, but he's just all over the place. I tell you, and we don't need him.
Physically or
And we don't need him biting any more ears. I tell you. So, and I got a good look at Evander when he came, and it's right there. Oh man, I'm like, wow, that is crazy. So, that was fun, and we're working on. JV and Oliver is all over the place right now, and I spoke with her dad just the other day about getting her. She dropped in Boys and Girls Club, from time to time growing up. She never was really a member there, but dropped in, just checking in with everybody and things like that growing up. Real smart kid. And Mike Gallup over at Dallas Cowboys. Let's see, Stephon Tuitt that plays with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's one more. Stanley Williams played, I think he played with Denver. He's not playing there now, but he played at Denver. But those are guys that would come by Boys and Girls Club, just drop in, play some flag with the kids and things like that. Never really quite members there, but they would drop in. I asked them to come by, throw some football with the kids. They come by. And so that's just been, the year's just been fun. Now, in closing, we are now, because we're opening back up, projecting to be at 300 kids. I had to add back on some additional staff, and so I had to increase my budget. I got the budget approved by the corporate board, and Ron, we were like at 325, around about the time when you were serving there with us. Now I'm up to like 470 in our budget. Which is not a problem. I mean, we've got additional staff, some good professional staff that's coming in that's really adding to the dynamics of what we're doing there. And I really want to give the best that we have. The school board has been real supportive. Dr. Nathan Franklin has been in, sending Chromebooks down and different educational programs. We've gone to a whole nother level over 20 years, and so volunteering is another avenue. I'm revamping the volunteering to where anyone that wishes to come in will do a background check. Of course, when we're doing individual working with kids, there has to be a background check and get that cleared. I have programs set up that you can look and say, well, I like to work in academics, or I like to work in sports, or I like oratorical speaking, just like that. You can choose that area you want to work in and plug into those, and we'll get that set up. Or if what it is want to come in and hang out, that's open too. So that's where we are in a nutshell. Just having fun there. Just make sure the kids have fun there, and just moving to higher heights. So again, this is our Boys and Girls Club. This is what we're doing, and I'll just entertain any questions you may have.
The ducks, dropping the ducks.
Yeah.
Part of y'all's fundraiser.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did finish on our fundraisers. We had the clay shoot that generated very good for the first annual, and then we had the 5K. We're gonna pick that back up in 2022. The Fight for the Future and the Duck Derby. We secured the Duck Derby Yes, we secured that. It would go throughout the community of our organization. Where we have clubs also in Greensboro, we have one in Madison, we now have one in Newton County, and Barnesville, Lamar County, and of course here in Walton. We're looking for a place to just secure it to where, and I'm like, man, if we could get it here in Monroe and keep it here, that would really be awesome for the club itself, good branding and things like that. And so spoke with Mayor Howard and the city of Monroe, and my wife helped out with a little nudging on her too. She's there, works there at the city of Monroe as well, and with Logan Probst there. And so we just kind of worked it out, and right in Middlebrooks we looked at the alcove area over there, and it worked out really good. Just dumping those ducks right there. And how that works is when you purchase a duck for $20, that's a significant number. But $20 a ticket, you drop those ducks, put your name and the number there, you drop those ducks in the river there, the Alcova River there, and the first duck that gets to the finish line, you win $10,000. And so the first year we done it, this is our third year, the first year we done it, Kim Lockham, she won here in Monroe the first year. She won the $10,000, and you know what she did? She just turned it back over, just turned the money back over and gave it back to the club. Incredible. And this year I think someone won again. I think they won third prize, and I think the third prize was like $5,000. And so that worked out pretty good. So we generated for our club. Each club sells a number of tickets, and the proceeds from those tickets go to the individual clubs. So all of Walton that bought tickets, all the proceeds stayed here with us, and so we generated about $14,000 from that. Okay, so to have it here now in Monroe, we're just going to elevate that and take it to the next level and increase on that. It's just a good way to support Boys and Girls Club of Walton in that manner. And so we're doing an end of the year campaign this year as well. So our board of directors, Roy Roberts Jr., he's our chairman, Katie Downey, then we have some new ones there also. We have Stephanie Calabrese, we have Jimmy Norton, Hugh, Bruce, I'm gonna call him Hugh, Bruce Williamson's son. Bruce always supports us as well, but his son comes in and helps out, and we have just a number, we're up to about 14 that's there with us, but they're helping out. Everybody's helping out and raising money there. So we have an end of the year campaign. Letters are going out. They sent letters out. Hopefully they sent one to all of you. And hey, we just all chip in and just close out with a bang, because what we're proposing to do is take the monies that's coming in from the end of the year campaign and set up an endowment to where we can set that up so that if we get in arrears or anything like that, we can draw from that endowment, and it'll help, subsidize us and help us stay afloat a little bit there. But we're in good shape. We just want to make that happen. And hey guys, thank y'all for letting me come and talk with you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson, and I'm here with another Recreation Report. Today, we've actually started our basketball season a week before Thanksgiving, and I have Greg Smith, one of our new players that's here to play basketball. And he showed up early with his dad, and he's been practicing, working hard, aren't you, Greg?
Mm-hmm.
So how many years have you been playing?
1 year.
This is your first season. What team do you play for?
What team Heats?
The Monroe Heat?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How many games have you played so far?
Just 3.
3 games already this week?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a lot of fun. Is this what is your favorite sport to play?
Basketball.
Basketball is your favorite sport?
Mm-hmm.
What school do you go to?
Walker Park.
Walker Park School? And you're in what grade?
3rd.
3rd grade. Man, you'll be in the NBA before you know it, won't you?
Mm-hmm.
So where will you go to high school at?
Carver.
That's middle school. So where will you go to high school? Monroe area?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's great. Do you plan on playing high school basketball? So what is your favorite thing to do on the basketball court?
Like to shoot and do layups.
All right. Do you like to be with your teammates? And how about y'all get snacks after the game? You like that? Are you going to win the county championship, or you just want to have fun?
Win.
You want to win, but is fun important? It is important, isn't it? All right. Well, Greg, we appreciate you coming in today, and good luck with your season. I know you got you play all the way to the end of January. I'm sure you'll do a great job. So thank you very much. All right. And we have a lot of basketball going on. We have about 800 kids that are participating in our basketball program. Again, we'll play from now. We'll take a couple breaks between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Then we'll have our countywide championship. And I've done these shows a lot. And once we start a season, guess what? It's time for spring season. Our spring baseball and softball and soccer and all of those seasons, one of our largest seasons of the year, is coming up. And we'll be registering right when we get back from our Christmas break. So don't miss that. A lot of times we don't send the flyers home in the schools anymore. Everything is digital these days. So look for an email either from your schools in the folder, or from, if you're a previous player, we'll send something out through our rec announce or through our registration process. So make sure you see where our registration is, and the price is around $85 to register, and you'll register at your location that you want to practice and play your game. So hopefully you'll get in there and register. Our community center and social circle is still moving forward. We're tentatively planning on open sometime the end of January. We hope they'll meet that deadline. And so we have a lot of going on here at the Recreation Department. And again, appreciate to Greg coming in and talking with us. He did a great job today. And let's go with your team. What team was it again?
Heat.
The Heat. So go Heat. And we hope he has a successful season. Thank you very much. And remember, sportsmanship starts at home.
Well, we're here at Children's Park for the big bicycle parade. So you can see the children have their bicycles really decked out with plenty of lights. Oh, and there's a good showing tonight. The temperature is just perfect. And also they have lit up the park for the 12 days of Christmas. You can see that in the background. Well, we're going to take some pictures here of some bicycles. I see a little four-wheeler right there. So we've got bicycles and four-wheelers.
Can y'all smile? Y'all probably need to go around this way. Go for it.
There really has been a good turnout tonight for the bicycle parade tonight, and some of them are really decorated really well. This is Paul Mullins with Walton Entertainment. And this is the lunar eclipse about 4:30 Friday morning. And this is the eclipse at 5:15. See quite a bit of change.
The Polar Express. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never hear, the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds. Though not of ringing bells, from outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest, then looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. "Well," he said, "are you coming?" "Where?" "Why, to the North Pole, of course," was his answer. "This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nugget centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forest where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon, but the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren strait of ice. the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. The North Pole, it was a huge city standing alone on the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the first gift, we all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves! Outside we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped and the conductor led us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and pointing to me, he said, "Let this fella here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, "Now what would you like for Christmas?" I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. He gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood, holding the bell high above him, and called out, "The first gift of Christmas." A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared in the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus' sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said, but the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at the doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Merry Christmas," he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," said my father, "it's broken." When I had shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me as it does for all who truly believe.
The mission of Project Renewal is to provide the support and services necessary for families and individuals in the Georgia counties of Rockdale, Newton, and Walton to live in a violence-free home.
So back in 2012, I met my partner, and we were together for a few months, and then we became pregnant. Not long after we met each other, He wanted me to move in with him and became pretty possessive already in the first few months of being together. Not long after I became pregnant, he wanted to move us out of state, and he did. We moved out of state, had me quit my job, and while we were up there, I didn't have much contact with my family, but I was able to come back down to Georgia to be able to birth my son. Not long after that, he moved us to Florida, and everything actually seemed really nice. He moved us around a lot. Different jobs, different houses, new environments all the time. And I kind of now realize that he was trying to keep me from making connections with people and having close relationships with anybody. While in Florida, things became escalated. He started verbally abusing me a good bit. He started mentally abusing me, putting me down constantly, and it was kind of a cycle of, you know, one day he could be really nice, and then the next day and the next day it starts building up with tension, and everything seems to be my fault. Doesn't matter what I do, it's not right. And then before you know it, he lashes out. It was not until 2015 he put his hands on me physically, and one morning, and knocked me out. And the police came and they arrested him, and I told my family about that incident, and I tried to leave. And upon leaving, I went home to my family, and I did not go to a shelter. I did not seek help other than my family. And although they were supportive, I was not in the right mindset. I was lost and very confused. And so I ended up going back to him just a couple months later. And it really got worse when I got back, because there was resentment of me leaving. And the next year that I was with him, it was constant physical abuse. It was, you know, he was never home. It was constant physical abuse, and my son was witnessing it. And I took it for about a year. When I heard about Project Renewal, I realized that there were options out there. I had always heard of a shelter or a safe house, but you don't hear much about them because obviously, you know, most places like that are going to stay more anonymous. So we were able to contact the Sheriff's Department for Walton County from Florida, and, you know, kind of let them know what was going on and the risk that was being involved with me leaving Florida, the threats that were made towards me. And I was able to kind of make like an escape plan with my family. And I was able to kind of read up on that on the Project Renewal website and learn about, you know, the things that you really need to take along with you, the things that are not, you know, materialistic things that can be replaced, and the things that are very important documents. I was able to kind of get a binder together, get all this information together. And I was able to leave one morning while my abuser was at work. And me and my son hopped in the car, and we drove 7 hours straight to the Sheriff's Department. And from the Sheriff's Department, I called Project Renewal and spoke with them over the phone. And they were very kind to me on the phone, very empathetic, which is something that I had not had a lot of, you know, emotion towards lately. And I was able to drive over to the location with an escort. And once I got there, I didn't realize how tense I had felt from the whole situation, and I didn't realize like the state of mind that I was in, because once I got there and I realized I was actually safe, my whole body just like broke down, but a good breakdown. I felt relieved. I felt relieved, and I felt like I could breathe for once. I had felt like I was drowning for so long, and it took me a long time to realize the danger I was in, because I didn't want to admit that I was the victim in it.